Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, irregardless of the last discussion, there are things about this bill that I have talked about when we first started, and doing this actually brings us into a position of modernizing the Copyright Office, which has been discussed a long time. I do want to address just briefly, though, there has been some discussion about an IG report. There's been discussion about especially the former Register of Copyrights, and as I made clear in the conference, this has nothing to do there. It was being brought up, and especially from the fact that taking the former Register of Copyright and implying things that were out of this IG report was basically attempting a character assassination of the former Register of Copyright. And I think in doing so, there has to be understood that even in that IG report that is so discussed about, one of the library's own back to the concerns of the IG report was that in 2015 the Inspector General found that the Copyright Office was compliant with all library methodology, and with respect to its primary software applications, the Electronic Copyright Office and Copyright Imaging System, which support registration and recordation functions and are managed by the CTO, were all in compliance. I think it's really interesting is what we look at here, but what also this IG report actually did say was there were a lot of other problems. In fact, the GAO report in 2015 said the library does not have the leadership to address its IT management. That is why the Copyright Office was having to look at this, because also in the August 2015, because of the library's poor response and modernization, which is things that we're looking toward, and how much this affects our economy, because of the library's problems, the electronic licensing system went down, and for 10 days no one could register a copyright. So really, in fairness, you may not like this bill, you may not like the current structure, and that's fine. But when we discuss the library, there are a lot of issues, and I'm sure the relevant committees will address this IG report in their committee oversight. That is what they're designed to do. But what we're designed to do here is also not take and pick and choose and cherry pick what parts of the report we want to talk about, because we're trying to justify the current librarian's decision last fall. When we understand this, we will begin to move forward on Copyright Modernization Act. Let's get back to the real functionality of what this is. Not who will appoint or how they're appointed, but the fact that this matters to millions of people and also accounts for trillions of dollars in our industries across the world. The Register of Copyright Selection and Accountability Act is an important and bipartisan step. I repeat again, it came out 27-1 out of the Judiciary Committee. Mr. Speaker, I serve on that committee. That is not a usual vote on legislation that is making a positive, large, lasting impact that we're seeing on this. And it is the first step rather than the last step in modernization. As we look forward to this, I will simply say this is a good bill. It has been perfected by both Republicans and Democrats. As I have said before, Sheila Jackson Lee, the Congresswoman from Texas, is a very valid, very helpful in putting this package together, along with the chairman and ranking member and both sides of the aisle as we come forward to this. It is sort of a shame that when we come to this bill, we diverge into rabbit trails away from the real issue. And the real issue is, let's help those folks who depend on the Copyright Office. Let's make it the modernization. Let's make it the tool it is supposed to be, and that is the advisor, the expert in these issues for Congress. And when we do so, at that point in time, our economy continues to flourish. We get aside from the theatrics, and we get back to the real importance of the bill. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time and move the previous question on the resolution.